So what happens to plastics after you throw them away depends on how you dispose of them. One thing you can do is recycle them, put them in the recycling bin instead of throwing them in the trash can or on the ground. And so we have all these recycling codes to help you know, what and sort your recycled plastics. And so we've looked at these before. Here they are all just in one table. But remember, the number indicates to what percentage of all plastics it is recycled. So the number one recycled is PET, number two HDPE, and then V is for PVC, LDPE, PP, PS, and then just others. So if you have to sort your plastic into different recycling bins or just recycling sorting station, you would know based on the number on the plastic, where to put that plastic. So that's an agreed upon way of organizing plastics to help with the recycling industry, to help streamline the process. So let's look at the number one recycled plastic. It's the PET, which is found in water bottles and 2-liter soda bottles and whatnot, peanut butter containers, salad dressing. And part of the reason why it's the number one recycled is because it's picked up. You don't have to take it someplace special to get it recycled. It's picked up by most curbside recycling programs. The most common things that are picked up, by the way, are newspaper and PET and HDPE and aluminum cans. Anyway, it's recycled into polar fleece. Fleece is very popular. A lot of clothing is made out of fleece. Tote bags, furniture, carpet, paneling straps, sometimes into new containers even. It's the most common for single-use bottled beverages because it's inexpensive, it's lightweight, and it's easy to recycle. That's why it's used so much for these beverage containers. So that's what happens to PET when you recycle it. HDPE, here you can see some common materials made out of HDPE. You can see where it's found just by reading this. Recycled also, most curbside pick up HDPE. It's recycled into laundry detergent bottles, oil bottles, pens, etc. It's very versatile plastic with many uses. Carries a low risk of leaching, and it's readily recyclable. So that's why this is number two. So rather than me read all this to you, what I've done is I've provided you with this article off the internet from thedailygreen.com about recycling plastics. The Daily Green is something that's on the it's a common publication on the internet. But anyway, so if you're interested in learning about what's recyclable and where to recycle it, you can always Google it for your area. And so I want you to read this, and I want you to read the section in your textbook on recycling plastics and what happens to plastics when you're finished using them. And then I want you to do the guided reading assignment for chapter 9. And when you do this guided reading assignment and you read these articles and in your book, you'll learn of other possible methods to dispose of plastics other than recycling. So there's throwing in the trash, there's recycling, and there's a couple other things that you're going to have to read about to learn about the terminology and what those words mean. For example, repurpose, reuse, that sort of a thing. Okay, so that's the end of this little section on polymers. You need to finish it up by doing this guided reading for chapter 9. Your teacher has a copy of it, and your teacher also has a copy of this article.